Crawford and the Jersey Guy podcast.
Hello.
How are you gentlemen doing today?
What's going on?
Everything good?
Chilling like a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it.
Yeah.
You guys follow, we have on our page,
Right.
I even follow him on my personal page, Nature Jab.
Okay.
All right. Julian Brown. This guy takes plastic, turns it into plasticine. We're going to look it up if he says it. And plastidiesel. He does.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, so plasticine means like gasoline.
Right, but it's from plastic. Right.
Gasoline.
Mhm.
Right. That's the name for it that he gives it.
Okay. All right.
So he does it when he makes it for diesel as well. And he has this stuff, machines that he works on, and he does it, and he runs people's equipment with it, and he keeps refining it. You know, he shows you how it looks when it first breaks down, and then he refines, he cleans it up, and it looks just like gasoline. Like it's, you know, it has the same kind of, texture. He's able to take the plastic, break it down.
It smells differently.
I don't know. That's a curious question, but the idea that someone could come up with an idea to say, hey, this is our way, or one of the ways we can get the plastic and get rid of it and use it, so we do it the right way versus trying to fucking bury it and put it places and it's in the ocean and we can get rid of it, you know?
Well, it makes sense. Gasoline is petroleum-based.
Yeah.
Plastic
It's
is petroleum-based.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and he
That's
says
the whole
that.
idea.
And he
Yeah.
says that in his videos.
Right.
If you watch him, you go on. He's on Instagram. He's on Facebook. I think he's on TikTok as well, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure he's on all of them. Whatever it is, he's probably on it. This guy is very smart, and he's been doing it for quite a while. And I did reach out to him because I wanted to get him on the podcast. I thought it would be cool. I knew it was a shot in the dark, but I was like, fuck, we'll just do a podcast about him anyway. So it doesn't matter because what he's doing is good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I love that because that's people showing, but then of course they run into problems.
Right.
You know,
Right.
higher forces.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I was like,
Yeah.
how's this guy alive? You know?
Yeah.
You know?
He's already run into kind of stuff like that already.
Yeah.
You know, where he's, you know.
Said lug nuts. What happened?
So, it was where lug nuts were loosened on the tire of his car and they came up. Yeah. He was like at least 5 of them. You know, at one point his mother was, you know, say, hey, he's fine. I just can't give you his location, this, that, and the other thing. You know, a lot of people thought he went missing, but they confirmed he wasn't. He's still, fortunately, he's still with us and he's doing what he's doing. And he's showing us that, hey, there's another way to do this. This is one way. It doesn't have to be the only way, you know?
Yeah.
And however you can come up with it to make that stuff go away so we don't use it anymore, we got to get away from plastic, man. That's like the death of us. That's shit.
Yeah.
It is, man.
Definitely. Well, to take what we have already. Because what'd you say what we have floating in the ocean?
So that's what
They clean it up, but it still comes back.
like the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, right? That'll be gone.
Yeah,
It'll be gone. Because once people know they can, you know, use the fuel for that.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, now it'll be like priority. Everybody like, get it out of the ocean.
Yes. But it's not the money, you know, and that's what, you know, like I've said before, the big business, you know what I mean? This is, you know, that's why they have when you could take the oil from fast food restaurants, you know.
And they run it in cars. They can do that too.
Yeah, you know,
They can recycle it that way as well. Yeah. There's a bunch of different things you could do with it.
Yeah.
But that's the way to go to get us away from that shit, man.
Right. But
you know,
it's money.
I think it is. I just think that people are stuck in their ways. I think,
I
you know, things every time when something was invented in this country and somebody did something, they took a chance and they figured it out. Now it's like, oh, let's be safe and not fucking worry about it. Well, no, there's other people who can invent stuff, people who can help society around the world and just help out doing the right thing, you know, but because people get, you know, no, it's mine.
Well, I mean, that was something I had said to you guys before.
It's like Daffy Duck.
My gold, mine.
But, you know, this is something like I had said to
But
you
he's
guys
not the
before.
only one. I'm sure there's other people doing that stuff.
But so the big car companies, Ford, who I believe is one I'm going to bring for right now, but I believe that Lee Iacocca had turned around and said that he can call up the factory right now. And this is like 25 years ago that he said this, that he could just call up the company and they change 1 or 2 components in the engine of how or what it burns, and we could run off of corn oil. Like, we don't need to have
gasoline.
Fossil fuels.
They knew then too.
Exactly. So and I mean, it was way back when, and they knew this. They know this. You know. Right. Yeah, it's a little bit political right now, but you know, it's just like I said.
I think it's people are pushing it. Society's changing. People are getting older. People, dying off.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Now the other generations are coming after us, and they're
Mhm.
going to be the ones, and hopefully they succeed and they get things back to the way the things should freaking be here
Mhm.
Yeah,
on the planet.
Well, it was because of what the belief was. You know, the belief is, you know, the old stuff isn't as efficient as the new stuff isn't as efficient as the old stuff. So then us being, so, you know, so we'll take like right now, efficiency. I can fill up my gas tank with, you know, full tank of regular fossil fuel gas, and it'll get me further than battery charge and or probably the hybrid. At the same time, it's going to take me 5 minutes at a gas station to fill up my gas tank as opposed to a half hour, 40 minutes
Right.
having to recharge my battery.
Right, I get
You know what
that.
I'm saying? So
But we're
that's
not-
the idea.
Yeah, but-
That's what people think or believe. You know, on top of that, sorry to cut you off, bro. You know, it's also, well, how do we get the batteries, the charger? It's got to get fossil fuel or some kind of, you know, already what you guys are saying is bad ways to charge that
No, I'm
battery.
not saying that. What I'm saying is that if you figure out a way to take the stuff that we were using, that
Mhm.
what in our food, in our bottles of water,
Mhm.
in our freaking stuff in our refrigerator, everything is plastic.
Right.
We get away from that. It's petroleum. You break it down the right way, the way he's doing it naturally, the way he has to break it down to get it, and then you get rid of it. And then you just burn it. There's plentiful to go around.
Right.
That it's, you know, but then by the time they figure that out and they get it going, it'll be something else that they come up with. Hopefully it'll be even better,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you know, that will lead them in a different direction. That's my whole point is
Yeah.
that don't have the mindset, you know, be safe and guard it and go, well, no, we don't want that. This is the way it's going to be, period.
Right.
End of discussion. When no, it doesn't have to be that way because things change and get better. And that's what we're about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you want people to do. And this kid, he's smart as fucking whip, and he's got his own products, like the deodorants
Oh,
and
really?
things. Yeah. You know, he's like, well, because he talks about how, you know, deodorant has aluminum in it and it's bad for
Right,
you and what
yeah.
it leads to and everything. I knew that. And I already was using aluminum-free deodorant.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, nope, not doing that anymore. See, that's what I'm talking about. So a little at a time, keep pecking away. At
Mhm.
some point, maybe we'll see it at the end of our journey
Mm-hmm.
where it starts breaking through the way it should be. Maybe a little earlier, who knows?
Right. Yeah.
But it's happening, and that's a good thing. Unfortunately, you have other forces out there that want to, like I said earlier,
They
are
don't
more
want
selfish, and they're like,
they don't
no,
want their stuff being.
you can't touch
Right,
it.
yeah.
This is us, and you can't have a piece of it, and I don't give a fuck. And,
Mhm.
and that's just the wrong way because
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, I know it. Regardless if it's wrong, it's still happening.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
but hopefully it won't.
Greed. Yeah, greed.
It's greed. Yeah, it's absolute greed. It's all about money. It's always
Right.
about money.
Yeah. That's all.
You know?
That's
What
all
about
it's
remember when you hear that conspiracy theory, or I don't know if it's conspiracy or a story about the guy who had a car and made it run from water. He could get it run from
Right,
water.
Yeah.
Remember? And
Mhm.
yeah, that guy disappeared.
Disappeared.
But isn't he around? Isn't
The
somebody
one
else
who
doing
had the
it?
one car, even Jay Leno talked about this, where you could put anything in the vehicle, it had only one spark plug,
Right.
if I'm not mistaken, and you could run anything in it, from alcohol to perfumes to anything, and that car would run off of it.
He still
And
has
that guy
it in his,
disappeared too.
He has it in his museum, doesn't he? Doesn't Leno have it in
He
his
might, but
garage?
it goes to show you, you know, people are protected because it's big money, right? What are you
Mhm.
talking about? Well, you know,
Yep.
we already know,
But-
we already talked about it,
That's what we here on the show had spoken on.
right?
that
Getting
one light bulb.
unalived, You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm.
It's that like the one light bulb. There's a light bulb that's been burning for like 100
Oh, yeah.
years
Oh, yeah.
in New York City at the
They make your refrigerators
at the
to
what's it
break
called?
down
It's in
quicker
the
now.
firehouse. It's in a firehouse in the city. Said then now they make things so
On purpose to
the
break down. They
residual
know how
money,
long it'll
right.
take.
It's gonna because it's the residual money.
They
is,
make more
is
money.
where they're looking at it.
Right.
You know, you got to come back and buy another light bulb. You got to come back and buy another car. You have to go and get that
Right.
car tuned up. You have to go buy more
Right.
spark
You need
plugs.
plugs, new
You know,
brakes.
you got to do that. The
on
brakes
and on
everything.
and on.
So then they never make anything that's going to last because it's the
But
residual
I think
money.
one day it will be like that.
But it's
it
just going to
will.
be different. No,
It's not.
going
It's
to
going to be space age. It's going to be freaking
right.
bananas.
So then you're going to need a new plasma torch to cut through whatever. You're still going to need the a new flux capacitor.
Not
to
necessarily.
get
Look
your
at this
car
guy's
to
doing
go
with
through whatever.
microwaves, turning plastic into freaking fuel. Why do you would say that? Things have already changed already. You don't
I know,
always
but
need
I'm
that.
saying, but big business is still where it's going to
Well,
be.
I'm saying if you're going to get people who will want it to be like that. because they want to keep that.
Yeah.
Because they're
Right,
afraid of
exactly.
change. It
Right.
goes back to what we're saying. But at some point, it's going to change. It's going to change.
Yeah, and
Nothing lasts forever but the
Right,
earth and
right.
sky.
well, that's even questionable right now. Just saying.
That's what the song says.
Yeah. Because like I said, it's just big business is going to always want to stay to make that money. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
Again,
But eventually,
but no, it's just going to change how they're making that money. I don't think it's going to change that they're not going to be making the
well,
money.
I'm hoping for different. I'm hoping
Yeah.
that it'll get to the point where,
Yeah.
because this generation's nothing like we are, and their kids are not going to be anything like they were. It's totally different. It's
Right.
and they're going to have a different mindset. So we'll see. Maybe you're right. Maybe it will be. We won't be around to see it,
Yeah.
but hope is a good thing.
Well, like I said, it just has to be a way. I mean, because for me right now, I don't see how it is that it wouldn't be big business having a hand in it or in anything in the future that they that would change. So, like, even like we talk about, let's just say clean energy.
Well, maybe it'll be more disciplined. It won't be as fucking cutthroat, and it won't be, one way. In other words, it's more of a cooperation. Yeah, maybe the money will still be in it, but maybe it'll work differently and it'll benefit everybody as far as the money is concerned. They figure out a way, okay, I don't have to have all the money, and it's all right that everybody else has a piece of the pie and then live better lives and less, struggle. Hopefully that's maybe that way. Yeah,
Right.
maybe, of course, money's probably never going to get out of the picture,
Right.
but maybe we'll finally figure it out and say, I don't have to have all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I really need this much to live?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I never had that kind of money, and I can't say that how I would be. I would hope that, like, let's say if God forbid we won, not God forbid, but let's say we won the lotto, right?
It's not God forbid, that's God please.
Yeah, God please, or whoever please,
Right.
whoever the higher powers be.
We win the
And if it
lottery,
happens, and now you could do anything, but I think if I won the lotto when I was 24, I probably would have blew it already.
Hell yeah.
But now where we're at in our lives now, you would think about it. You would do everything to protect it, to make sure you still had it, that you didn't lose it.
Lasts.
Right.
And make sure it lasts. And then you would still get stuff, but you won't go crazy because you don't need to. Because, you only get what you're comfortable. You and the wife go, oh, you know what? Let's get a camper. We're going to go take the kid.
And where I
drive
am
around.
in my life, I would be thinking also like,
And then you could use
save
the
some
fuel
for
from
my
plastic,
son. Yeah.
from
Right.
plastic
Yeah.
and put it in your whether it's diesel or in your RV.
Well, that's the thing. You just take a portion of it. Like he said,
Right.
if his kids, well, like even for us, our kids are older, but, and they thank God they're pretty good. They're okay.
Right.
But that then we would turn around and make sure that our kids are set up okay, so they're not struggling the way that we are at this age. And I'm only saying struggling, for lack of a better word, but not having to work as hard, I guess we'll say, that they can take it easy, that they'll be, that they can retire with no.
It's just the way things have changed, man. It's just it's the way of the.
But that's what we would do if we had that money, Like I said,
What do you mean? Like
so,
what?
all right, so I say that God won't bless me with hitting the lotto because I would take half of it and basically give it away. Like I would walk with, bags of money.
No,
cash.
you wouldn't, bro. You're full of shit.
You don't even
Let's
know
get
the
on.
rest
Let's
of
get
the
on
story.
subject on it,
That
bro.
is
Are
the
you
subject.
crazy? Are you kidding me? Why would you do that?
Well, finish my sentence.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So then I would take like the bags of money and go to like the children's hospital, and give money to the families that are there because, they're there at the hospital with the kids. So that then I would look away, give it to charity and stuff. Some of that money I would turn around and try to invest it in something like you're saying, like with the
Right.
plastics and stuff like that. So that then, that's we're trying to make the world better.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you would find certain, but you wouldn't just give the money. You're not giving the money away. So what you would do, right? You have donation places that you find
Right,
that you
yeah.
this one I want to put money to in that one, or I want to make sure
Right,
these people
yeah.
get the money, right? However it goes,
Right.
right? Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I misunderstood what you were saying
Yeah, yeah.
totally. I just pictured you walking down the street with fucking money in
what
bags.
the,
I'm
no,
like,
I'm
what
gonna
the
do that
fuck?
shit.
I mean,
The
come
fuck I
on,
look like
really?
Mayweather, bro. Only Mayweather does that shit.
Boom. But I was like, whoa,
Yeah,
serious,
no.
bro?
I'm talking about like I
Why
was
did you
going,
check?
giving away to the families.
Right, no,
and
I
stuff
get
like
you.
that,
No,
know what I'm
you're
saying?
right.
And, just do things like that.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Investing into things that are going to be beneficial.
And that's the
for
difference
our
between the way
future.
we are now
Right.
versus the way we were back then.
Right, yeah. Because when I was
So
a
now
kid,
you have the
yeah,
wisdom
dude.
now and the experience. You're like, I
Mhm.
don't need all of that.
Right. Mhm.
This is enough for me to live with,
Yeah.
And then at least now I know I don't have to worry about anything.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So
And like
just
even Thomas
relax.
said,
You go out and come in as you please and do what you want. Take care of your family.
I mean, like, what would you want for Chase
Right.
to or what would you hope that Chase is going to learn from you giving him, money if you won the lotto? You know what I'm saying? Or what would you hope for him to be a part of in the future that's going to be better for him and the planet?
Yeah.
Like you would do these things to try to set him up to be better on the other end, and I don't know, man. I just think that, there's just so many ways.
Sorry. My bad. I was watching a video on his thing. I apologize.
And like I said, like with this guy doing and, all these inventions that he has,
Right.
It's like, bro, I wish that there were more kids. I'm
There's
not
a lot of
like
people
that.
out there do a
There
lot
is
of
a lot
crazy
of people that doing it.
There are.
I just wish they had more notoriety.
Well, you see it on when you look. I guess, you're right. They should have more, but they social media helps them.
Mm-hmm.
What we didn't have.
Right. Exactly.
So that helps them promote themselves in any talent or any direction, really, when you think about it. Look at people who have become famous off just being, boxing, music.
Right.
Like just because they were, social media. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That technology alone. So that direction, everything's going to change, man. It's just going to be.
That's why I'm going to have to agree with you. I'm going to have to agree with you with that, bro, because social media as a whole is what is bringing all those good ideas to light.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That now people are like, oh, snap, you could do that? Oh, snap, we could make that happen? What? No way. Like the dude making the car run on water.
Yeah, but that guy disappeared. And that was years ago.
I know what I'm saying.
That was years ago.
It's one of those things.
So I'm saying, his kid knows that,
Mm-hmm.
What he's doing is, for him, it's scary, but he's still sticking it out. And I commend him for that because he's trying to do the right thing to help, not to hurt.
Right.
But of course, other forces seem to look at it a different way because they look at it as a threat when it's not, when they could be helping the planet. And why, I don't understand the mindset.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. And I get what Kenny said because I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying that, nope, they want it like this and no one else could have, and that's it. And that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
This kid, he's pushing through and he's following his dream and he's looking to help the planet out and people out. Do something.
Yep. Because
we need more of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And even think about it like this. By no means am I saying that this is healthy, go and do it. I'm just going to say like where it first started. So we're looking at vaping. Vaping was totally opposite, not even the same people, like the tobacco companies had nothing to do with it. Right.
Yeah, and it was just like vegetable glycerin,
exactly,
with some flavoring,
right? And then
if you wanted nicotine added to it, you could add
it.
But now it's just
now tobacco companies got in on it,
and they had the chemicals,
and now they added all those other chemicals, and it's now just as bad. Yeah. Actually, it's worse than smoking a cigarette.
More money,
right? Because now they got into it,
right?
So then the same thing with
and they make it addictive, and then they buy more, and same with the cigarettes.
Yep. And I'm saying, so that then now with this kid, dude, do you know what that is? I would love to have that mental where I'd be able to just take a couple of water bottles that I have at the house, throw them into this groovy ass microwave that I've got and make gas for my car. Dude, do you know that it costs me $50 to fill up my gas tank?
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, mine's about 30.
Yeah.
A little over 30.
Imagine if you make your own gas.
Dude, if I made my own gas, bro.
Let me ask you a question. Don't you think at some point, when we're talking about fuel and making fuel and being able to be independent to do that, shouldn't at some point we should be where Americans should be self-sustained? In other words, they don't have to go through a company that supplies the energy for them. In other words, they could do it on their own. So now they have their own self-sustained, whether it's using, they come up with their own type of generator or they have their own fuel and they don't have to worry. And they just...
imagine how great it would be when it wouldn't have the need for power lines anymore.
Right, power lines or just...
Internet's wireless, too.
Because there's so many different kind of things you see now when they're doing with the power, with the magnets and everything like that. And these things just run forever and they, it's like...
It would be.
Because it could work.
Right.
But again, it falls into the same thing with this young man.
Yes, sir.
Because... But social media... I always share the shit out of it on our on Instagram and on Facebook because I think that stuff is great when people come up with these ideas and that, like Kenny said, I wish I had the mentally be able to sit down. You know what? I could take 2 speaker magnets and I'll take it and then I'll run this fan and get it going. But I'll also be solar.
Yeah.
at the same time,
Yeah.
like,
Yup.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I want more people like that in the world,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
It would be freaking fantastic.
Yeah, and I
man.
think there is. I think, so, like I said, social media definitely
Mhm.
brings that. Like the algorithm you said, if you watch a certain thing, you'll have a lot of it. So when we hit that stuff on our Instagram and Facebook, I share the shit out of it, especially if it's something really cool, like the bike when we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
I mean, so.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not. Imagine how much nicer neighborhoods would look without telephone poles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are they above ground anymore? They should be underground.
I forgot, but there was a thing about that.
So, like, the problem
don't need to
is you deal with like flooding and stuff like that.
Okay.
And like, so like I remember because we have our own electric company in town. We got Butler Electric. I remember there might be like one spot, or maybe they shared a video and like it was like a disaster. They had like flooding, but the flooding was electrified because the underground,
Right.
And
then it just shorts everything out.
And the guy from they wrote like, this is why underground. Everybody likes underground electrical until stuff like
But
this.
now you have fiber optics. You have all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And they could be using the technology is definitely there for it. I think it's just the money.
Exactly. Do I want to spend more?
But they want to make the money, but they don't want to spend the money.
Right. Yeah. Listen, bro.
That makes no sense.
But that's business.
I get. But if you want to get ahead in the future, you got to get with the program. You know what I mean? You got to take chances and everything. It goes back to that again.
Brother. I am with you.
I'm just saying for us.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah. Because this is just, listen.
As a planet.
Exactly. Because you know what? Right now, from the way that things are going, we all go, different ideas on the whole science of how much longer the earth can give what it's giving.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We have the different ideas. Bottom line, though, is that if we keep doing what we're doing, regardless, it's going to end. You know what I'm saying? The planet is going to just look at how many sinkholes we have from the mining, around the planet, just in the States alone. How many, just the sinkholes. You know what I mean? That alone is freaking killing people.
That's the wild part too, is like this stuff is like from over 100 years ago.
Yeah, bro.
Maybe 150 years
right.
ago,
Yes.
right?
But now it's time to break down.
These huge sinkholes. So like, what about the stuff we do today?
Yeah.
How is that going to the people,
affect later down the line?
Like 2 generations from now, we're going to do some major shit.
Why are roads, why is blacktop so bad?
Huh?
Blacktop.
I don't even know.
Like you were talking about sinkholes, right?
Right.
But what blacktop? Our roads here,
right,
in Pennsylvania, New York. Pennsylvania has some decent roads, but blacktop generally. I mean, you go drive in New York or wherever, it's like
because they don't spend enough money to
the roads suck.
Over.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like it was bad for you.
Yeah,
like,
no. Blacktop.
You're saying that they can't
90-something% recyclable.
So let me tell you,
and you could put supposedly they were supposed to melt the tires and they break them up and they melt. They're supposed to make it better or whatever. But do they actually really do that, or is that just something they just?
No, it's true. So again, this is where big business undercover.
Right.
Yeah, they gotta figure out how to
that's why it burns the rubber, it chips it out or whatever. Right. That's why the tires get worn out and such the way that it does.
And they use that and it makes it better for the
same
to
thing,
expand and move and contract.
Right. So it's the same thing if you go like, when you go to any state that uses like concrete or whatever, cement to, for their highways and shit. It's the same difference. But it's all about the money.
Right.
Because, we got to keep this going. We got to, and then like they have the stuff where we can right
they
now.
They got to suck out of it as much as they
not
can,
even the tires, bro.
Imagine.
Imagine.
But listen, you know how many people have tires? You ever go past properties and people have mounds of tires and shit like that? You know, again, just get it from those people. You if you want to get rid of them, you get rid of it. You can get it. Those people say, hey, listen, you bring your tires. We could use it in our asphalt or whatever they're supposed to do. I don't know how that works, but, they can get money for it.
Well, look at so right now they don't even. I don't even know what we would call it.
Well, just give them to recycle it for free to get it off your property.
Well,
Forget about getting money. So just say, we'll take them for nothing. In other words, now you don't have to worry about all that being on your property.
Yeah. So then now what they use with the old tires is they use them in playgrounds. They recycle them so you could turn around and use it for the place, the mats, underneath the swings and such like that. Make it for the ball pits, or if I say for the.
I even see flower pots once in a while.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a bunch of different things that you can do with all of that stuff. Recycle it, so this way it's not sitting in a landfill. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be worthwhile. Yeah. But again, depending on what you're using it for, what you're looking to use it for, that big business, because there are tools, machines that break down the tires, that break down a lot of the stuff that we use that we don't have access to. It's $100,000 machine to break down the tires to make them small enough to where we can throw them into that super hot oven or, into that vat of acid where we're going to be able to pull the metal that's in, the steel belts and the, or the radials of the tires. You know what I mean? Like, it's just all those things that we can just throw it right here in the backyard and, make it happen. We don't have, the knowledge, or the space to turn around and, with the money, the space and everything to do that. Big business does. Well,
only a millionaire's going to space now.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it's just
billionaires.
But billionaires.
I want to be a billionaire so freaking bad,
I don't want to be.
I do, bro. Later for that. Because I feel
like you can't be a billionaire without being evil.
No, see, I don't.
I feel like you have to do some evil shit. Like you could be a millionaire,
right,
and not be evil. But like, if you're a billionaire, like, how do you to get that much money? You have to do some evil shit.
I don't know, man.
You have to be fucking some people over real bad.
Whoa,
listen.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I guess a lot of times it's inherited. Some do it on their own, but. Yeah, how do you get that kind of money?
Okay, all right.
How do you, I mean, that's just
feels like,
out of our field. We'll never know.
I feel like, from an ethical standpoint, just hoarding that kind of money. That's hoarding at that point. Like, you can't. What are you spending the money on? It's hoarding.
Well, that's the whole point. It gives you power.
You're just
right. Money is power.
You know what billionaires are? They're dragons sitting on a pile of gold.
Yeah.
They
pretty much.
That's a good, and I think that's a
good analogy.
So I
like that.
Someone else came up with that analogy. I wish.
Yeah.
No, but it's all right to use it.
But
it's okay to use it. It's a good analogy.
Well, they just sit on the money, and now it kind of fucks up the economy because now that money's not in circulation.
Right.
Well, now, so from what I had understood, I understood.
The more billionaires are, the more fucked up the economy gets because there's no money. There's no economy being stimulated. They're sitting on billions of dollars.
But isn't it basically, it's not liquid money?
Well, that's the thing that happened, right? So,
I know it goes into stocks because it's in a bank.
Right.
Technically, you're not to be able to.
That is another.
There was a whole big thing, because they're not supposed to do certain things, but they did because Musk wound up doing that.
Doing what?
He gave, so in other words, he didn't have the money, but he was able to get the money kind of thing when he really shouldn't have gotten it, but
because
whatever.
He liquidated other stuff?
Because it was all in.
It was in credit.
It was what stock market stuff. It was all that.
Oh, got it.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and then you go.
But that's not, I mean, that's just, I don't understand any of that stuff, how that works. I mean, I have an idea, but really, that's just, that's just greed right across the board.
Oh, yeah, hands down. Sure. And that's what I'm saying. So then this kid making, or anybody taking anything to recycle it, decompose it, structure it.
We should use it
to break it down to make it to what we can, for something that we can reuse. Like I said, it's great. We turn around, we take Coca-Cola bottles or soda bottles and cans, and we
listen. When they did it in World War II, right? They told people to bring all their metal or whatever they had, so they could help,
and
so they could build
it down and do
build
whatever.
Planes and tanks and all that stuff.
But again, war is money.
Yeah, I understand that, but what I'm saying, it shows you that it can be done. Is what I'm saying.
Yes, definitely.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be that atmosphere, that setting or atmosphere. I'm just saying.
Right. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I got you. Yeah.
They needed it.
Mm-hmm.
They got people to get it for them, and they used it, and it helped them through the war. You know what I mean?
And that's where the clincher is, bro. For people, you said like you guys were saying before, taking that the kids now, the younger next generation or next two generations, that they're going to be able to see past all of this stuff,
Right.
I like to use that, I remember I read an article a bunch of years ago, and it said how the Saudis, the Arab nations, how they've basically moved on from fossil fuels, from selling it, mining it, whatever, because they realize that they can see the bottom of the barrel now. So now what are they going to do? So now that's why like Dubai and stuff, stuff like that, the whole United Emirates, how they're now a real estate thing.
Yeah. Because they had to shift from oil.
They had to shift from the oil, from the fossil fuels, to now making themselves into the next super attraction.
Yeah.
So they are the Las Vegas, the 10 times bigger Las Vegas.
Yeah, because
the
the prince was like, the first one, that
Mhm.
hotel, that was the first thing he
Yes.
put up. He's like, I don't want a 5-star hotel. I want a 6-star hotel. What can
Exactly.
we do to get it 6-star?
Right.
Yep. They're building
Yeah.
cars
That was
over
the
there.
first thing. That was the one that looks like
Where's
a
this
sailboat.
at now?
That's
Again,
what
Yeah,
I'm
there's
sorry.
an example in the United Emirates, like
Okay.
Dubai and stuff like
Right.
that over there. And this is what they're doing. So they're building their cars.
Yeah.
They're building. Do you know that that's a green hotel? That building is
Yeah.
100% green.
Yeah.
Well, my son's
Yeah.
college in Ithaca,
Mm-hmm.
they have green buildings where
Right.
the plants are growing
Yep,
on the roof.
on the roof and
you know,
whatnot.
as part of the roof, the
Yep.
grass or whatever it is that they have up there.
Speaking of Green and University of Ithaca, Tom Green went to the University of Ithaca.
Oh, did he?
No, he did. It was in the movie.
This guy.
Road Trip. Road Trip. Remember
Road
the
Trip.
I forgot about Road Trip. Yeah.
Sorry.
Right.
That's funny. That was just that.
Well, check this out. We were talking about like
Hey.
recyclers. So Milan uses waste to energy. Plants to generate energy from non-recyclable waste, including incineration and at the Silla 2 plant.
Mhm.
This process, also known as energy from waste, converts waste into usable heat, electricity. Additionally, Milan has a program for collecting food waste and composting bags, which is used to produce biogos and soil. What is that?
Okay.
You're going to have to read that for me.
Biagos.
Biogos
I know
and
that
for
guy.
soil remediation.
Remediation. Right. Yeah. You see?
So it happens when I make less.
Remediation.
Remediation. So yeah, but so Milan is big with that. They use everything, pretty
Mhm.
much everything on that.
Right. Well, where is it? It's not. Is it Greenland or somewhere over there that they use thermal
Food
energy
waste.
to heat up their heat and cool their houses?
Why not?
Well, yeah,
Well, that's what I'm
because-
saying.
Well, they sell
Because-
that kind of air condition. They sell that kind of cooling system here
Yeah.
in the United
Yeah,
States
because-
too.
Right.
Because the whole way it works is on, like a wine cellar is
Okay.
constant 55 degrees.
Right.
Right. It doesn't change. So if you take the air that you are cooling for your
Mhm.
house from there, it doesn't need much
doesn't
power.
mix
And the
it
same
right.
thing for heat.
Okay.
Instead of it being 20 degrees
Right.
outside, you're heating the air that's 55 degrees.
Right.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
running the heating coil through.
Yeah. You see?
Right. Right.
55.
And
It's like
and there you go.
yeah.
And that's why I'm saying. So now imagine not imagine. They actually
Remediate.
do this. Is that you're taking solar power, right? And that's your energy.
Well, the sun
That
is
now-
like the best thing you could do.
Right.
Use.
Or some places
Right.
is wind power.
Wind.
Now you use the thermal energy idea or thermal heating and cooling system.
Right.
And now you're
Now they make
totally
machines
off
too
the
that can
grid.
take the air, pull the air in, and make water from. it.
Right. And that was the other thing you were telling us. But now they're also doing the cars that run on the water, on hydrogen.
Right.
So, I
Right.
mean,
so they're doing that. They've been working on that for a
For
while,
a
but I
long
think they're
time.
getting close now to
Yeah.
the way
to make it more efficient?
more efficient and,
Right.
and where it would be more feasible to do
Right.
rather than have electric.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Why not?
But
I
then
mean-
now, do you remember back in the day when they had the electric cars, that they had the solar panel was the roof. So instead of having a sunroof, it was
Right.
solar panels on the roof of the car.
Right.
And that's
Smart.
what was charging and
That's smart.
keeping the car moving.
Right.
And
But
Go ahead.
did they have gasoline too? Was it a hybrid?
No, bro.
It was just straight up solar?
100% solar power on
Wow.
that car.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a
Well,
space
you could
project.
probably still do that now, though,
but
I
like, they
think.
could do that now, and it would just be built into the
Into the roof.
shape of
Yeah.
the car. You
Yeah.
wouldn't even see him.
Yeah.
Like, you could have it where it's the shape
Yep.
of the car.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I'm
If
saying.
you had
There's
like a
so much.
sunroof or something, you
Yeah.
But nobody was giving them the backing to
Right. Now
be able
it's
to
getting-
get the batteries
it's getting
and
there
whatnot.
now. Now
But
it's,
also,
it's
too,
definitely
like-
getting there for
Mhm.
sure.
But see, like, it's funny, like, that kind of stuff gets suppressed because they could still use it for money. Because, like, say you have a fuel cell, right? Like,
Right, yes.
like the Prius, right?
Right.
That's the most famous fuel cell car, right?
Mhm.
Out there. If they were to put those solar panels on, now you're reclaiming it. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? But you'd still need the fuel for other stuff. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
like, why are they trying to suppress it? Like, they want to see, that's how scummy they are. It's like, oh, it uses less fuel, so we can't,
Right.
we need to use more fuel, get a V12, like,
Yeah.
it's like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, they're just,
Right.
Yeah. It's just, again, like we
greed.
said
It's
before,
all about money.
it's all about that money, bro. It's all about let's just use the shit out of this right now because there's nothing wrong with the earth. There is no such thing as
Yeah. Well,
there's nothing going on. Like I said, those sinkholes, oh, no. It was just, it's nothing. Meanwhile, it's
Well, because what they don't care about is the fact is that they're going to only be here for a certain amount of time, and they don't care what's going to happen afterwards. They just want to
pretty
get
much,
what they want,
yeah.
and that's the end of that.
Yeah, and that's it.
And that's just a selfish way of doing shit.
But I believe that they turn around and that with all the faults that they have in what their thinking is right now, I think that that's just their front because they're setting up with I guess we'll say the fix of those faults. So we're saying, so now we have you were asking about the asphalt, the blacktop. So we're going to make the blacktop what is nice and it's going to last through these next 2 winters, but we're going to make it only to last these next 2 winters because we're going to have to repave the entire infrastructure and the third one. So we're going to make the next $100 billion off of having to repave everything,
right,
you know?
They just recycle whatever they use.
Right.
So.
You know, look at the bridges. I will say one thing right now, bro. The infrastructure fixing is what I'm going to call it.
Can we talk about the bridges for a minute?
Go ahead.
Because I was looking at today. Because I was working in Staten Island today, so I was
Verrazano?
I was crossing over, not to Verrazano, the one that goes from Jersey to
Goethals? Well, it was used to be Goethals.
It's the newer bridge, I think.
Right, it's a new one now. It's 2 now.
Yeah, but like, okay,
I know that.
so like the original bridges, the suspension bridge. We'll think of the George Washington Bridge, right? It's a big metal gate, strong,
right,
steel.
Mm-hmm.
Now they got these new ones, and it's just like concrete. It's not. They're not even connected. They're just pillars going straight
right.
up.
Yeah.
Like that boggles my mind. Like as I'm driving over, I'm like, this thing's just gonna crumble.
Yeah.
Like it's got holes. It's concrete with holes in it.
Yeah.
Like if I was a giant, I could just go.
Well,
yeah.
You know,
the Mario.
Like, if I was a giant, I went up to the George Washington Bridge, steel. Like,
Well,
you don't have that. You don't remember the Goethals Bridge?
Yeah.
That was a crazy bridge.
Right. Well, so now here's the thing. So going by what you're saying,
like the science behind that,
the Brooklyn Bridge,
yeah,
brick,
but it's a gate structure. It's
I got what you're saying.
It's not a solid pillar. It's even though it's stone,
but there's still.
I know you're talking about.
They connect, but these ones just go straight up.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah,
right.
It's reverse of that.
Right.
That's what the idea is. It's reverse of that.
Oh, so it's connected.
Yeah.
Still, it's up. Like that's.
Yeah,
like,
that's the idea. It's supposed to be that way.
Yeah,
and don't forget.
But a lot of the bridges like that. The one in Boston, the one that we just put up here.
They don't need to. What the fun? You're taking away from the view, bro.
Mario Como Bridge, right?
Yes,
same one.
That's the same way.
Yeah. Tap and Z, bro.
Tap and Z,
bro.
Tap and Z.
Take my belt off.
And then you got the.
That's what they named it. That's not Tap and Z.
I know. Yeah.
You got
did they go back?
Kosciuszko,
bro.
Kosciuszko. I hate when they ruin it, man.
Yeah, but we're saying it wrong too.
But that one.
But all our lives, that's what it was. Kosciuszko. I don't care.
But
that's the right way.
It's only got one in the middle, though.
Right?
Instead of.
Yeah.
It's only one in the middle, the suspension part. It's only going through the middle.
But that one's a super little bridge, though, bro.
Yeah,
that one is like,
it's
like 100 yards. You know what I mean? So it's a little.
Yeah, it wasn't that big.
Yeah, it's a little ass thing.
So it's Kosciuszko.
Yeah, it's Kosciuszko.
Kosciuszko.
So I think the sidebar, Kosciuszko or something like that. I saw it on the news. Dag nabbit. You guys said that.
So that's going from Brooklyn to Queens, right?
Yes,
I believe you're right.
I had to think about it. I had to remember where the bridge is. Yes, it's going from Queens to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is on the BQE.
But infrastructure is good though, because if they're rebuilding it and they're doing it, because a lot of these bridges, even now, like the overpasses and the stuff that you see here upstate, it's like everywhere. Now they're making 17 into 86, and they're making it wider, and it's like it's crazy how they do it and
keep making the roads wider
and wider.
yeah.
Because 20 years is going to be a 40 years.
Bro, I'm going to tell you what, man. Well, no, because in that 40 years, the cars will be basically driving themselves. So then there'd be no accidents. It just
eating a banana at the same time with a spoon.
And not everybody trying to fight traffic. It'll be organized.
Yeah, it'll be actual organized. Nobody because you're saying this is where I got to go. Cars are talking to themselves.
Plus, people won't be so concerned because they're going to be doing whatever they're doing.
Right? Yeah.
You think you think we'll be that confident to get to that point where we're comfortable with the transportation where we're not going to, was driving like that?
I'm going to say this.
I think there's going to be a period where it's a little weird.
Well, I'm going to say
the
adjustment.
It's not the we as us in this room.
Because we're not going to see it.
Them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the kids.
I mean, we as a society,
But that's what I mean. Hands down, bro.
But I mean, like, I think there's going to be a period where it's like, they're working out the kinks. You know, like,
no, there was a movie. There was a movie a long time ago.
Man, I'm not doing that.
And they were showing that there was no more gasoline cars. And I can't remember who the actor was. I want to say it was Stallone. So I can't remember the name of the movie. But that he had, or it might have been Lee Majors. Anyways, the actor in there, doesn't make a difference who. that he had a race car in his garage and something was going on and he needed to take his race car that he had a little bit of gas for and he had to drive through,
And there was a plane following him and all that?
Yeah, like
I remember
that kind
that.
of stuff. So,
Yeah.
it's one of those
Just
things
picture.
where people aren't going to. So, if we're going to get away from fossil fuels, I think that's going to be hands down. I think
Yeah.
we're going to get away from all that. And now,
People are going to still keep the cars and stuff like that too.
right.
As things to
Right,
show
as
every once
But
in
I
a
think
while.
eventually
Mhm.
that they're just going to be in museums.
Right, exactly.
But
Right.
I think
Or parades and things like that.
But there's going
Yes.
to be like generations from now, they're going to be like, wow. So people used to like drive cars themselves. And,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you had to worry and
Mhm.
not get into an accident with
Right.
someone.
Dude, what's the name?
People are going to be like, it's going to be so foreign to them because
Yeah.
you're just going to get, you're just
Right.
going to, your car's just going to take you. where you wanna
Demolition
go.
Man.
Right.
Yeah.
With Stallone,
Stallone and
Wesley
Wesley
Snipes.
Snipes.
Yeah.
How come my car turned into a calzone?
Yeah.
Or no, a
exactly.
cannoli.
Cannoli, yeah.
Yeah, right, because of the foam.
Exactly,
You know, it's
because
so
of the
funny you're
foam.
talking about because
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. For whatever reason, that scene where he has an accident
Right.
and all the foam comes out and protects him.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I don't know what that particular thing, but it's funny that we're talking about it
Yeah.
right now. That's so weird. And that's pretty cool, though.
It's a real thing.
They have expansion foam now, but it doesn't harden
No, it
instantaneously.
takes right. So when they're switching
And
up
they
to
made
that-
it. Well, they made it hard in
It
the
would
movie.
be safe to get on your body.
Yeah. So now what they have, and it's a real thing. You could look it up.
Unless it's in a
that
bag, so when it goes off,
it's in the jacket.
yeah.
So then, but it doesn't. It's not
Yeah,
a foam.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a balloon.
Okay.
So then, like motorcycle riders, especially, they turn around and while they're riding, and the jacket is attached by the to the bike.
Okay.
So like when it knows that when it gets to a certain angle degree, or that there's a hard hit on the jacket, that the first initial hard hit would be like, say, if you hit the ground or whatever, that it would, and it just expand like balloons up.
To
It's
protect
a real
you.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it stiffens up the neck and the whole thing.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah. But anyway, so I'm saying in these movies though, is that the cars are driving themselves. iRobot. The cars are driving themselves. It wasn't until Will Smith turned around and says, manual.
Which one
and then,
is the one where it goes up the building?
Oh, that's the one with Tom Cruise.
Oh,
with
Minority Report.
Yes.
Minority Report. Yeah.
That was good, too. I like that.
Yeah.
Precogs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I do believe that
The future's
we will
definitely
get to
gonna.
that.
It's gonna get to a point where
the future's so bright.
yeah.
I got a wish.
Unless we get reincarnated and come back.
Dude, I'm going to be a cyborg. Look at the face, see that?
You might be able to do it, man.
No, so I just feel that,
Bored.
the things that we should change, we could change the Borg. I don't want to be
Yo.
Borg. I don't want to be one.
Yeah,
No,
the Borg.
I don't want to be one.
No, you don't want to be the
seven.
Borg.
No, I don't want to be the Borg.
But you know where that came from, right?
Which part?
So it's my understanding, if I'm not mistaken. So remember the Star Trek motion picture
Yes.
where they took, what was it called again? They were calling it the Creator. Remember
Yeah.
she was right?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Voyager, Vija.
Yeah.
They kept calling it Vija, but it was Voyager. And
Right.
it got caught and
Oh,
went to this
yeah.
machine world and it came back. Now, what the machine world wanted was to connect with the humanoid. So she did with one of the people from the thing, which in turn later on came the Borg.
Blown right, bro.
Down the line, the
Dude.
machine consciousness took over.
And there you go. There you go.
Little Star Trek.
That's a lot of Trek.
If
bro.
I'm off on
Yeah.
anything, please, I don't mind being corrected.
Bruh.
You can go ahead and hit
Let
us
know.
online,
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah.
TikTok,
Yep. So with that,
YouTube.
we'll end with that with the Star Trek.
Yeah,
That's where we're at.
absolutely.
Time's up. Sorry, guys. So with that, thank you guys for listening. Like, follow, and everything like Lou just said. Thank you very much for being here with us. Love, peace, and hair grease.
Live long and prosper.
Stay weird.
Holler.